Wait, it's all 3D World? Always has been.
Alright guys, we're doing another 3D World video. I thought you guys would be tired by now, but just apparently not. I mean, I've done so many videos on this freaking game, but I love it, so I could talk about it for hours. I mean, I'm not really complaining here. And turns out, despite how many videos I've done about, you know, all the content they could add, I've never really sat down and fully gone over what I think to be probably one of the most important additions. When this game inevitably launches for Switch, I think one of the safest bets in terms of new content would be a brand new character. It seems to be Nintendo's MO when porting over games from the Wii U. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe got Toadette, Peachette, and all that fun stuff. Obviously, we got new Funky Mode with Donkey Kong. It's a safe bet to say that Nintendo would probably introduce a new character into this game. Now I'm gonna take you all back to like 3rd grade, and we're gonna whip out the pie chart, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why, I just thought this would be fun. I made a pie chart with the percentage of chance I give each of the characters that could possibly be added. I don't know how much sense that just made, but once we get into it, you'll understand. I'm gonna be going in order from most likely to least likely, so let's just jump into the first character. The most likely character I think will be added to Super Mario 3D World Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch is Yoshi. I give Yoshi a 50% chance. I literally think it's like a coin flip on whether he's in or not. He just makes so much sense, and Nintendo seems to like adding in easy modes to their games when they port them to Switch, and Yoshi would be the perfect easy mode. Not only is his flutter jump a new ability, so he would be distinct from the other characters, but it would make so many levels so much easier, just giving you kind of a combo between Peach's hover and a bit of a double jump. On top of that, Yoshi was not featured at all in the original game, so it wouldn't be any sort of like logistical headaches or whatever. Honestly, the flutter jump just makes him as unique as he needs to be, and it works too perfectly. I would honestly be surprised if this wasn't the case. So after taking up 50% of this pie chart, we're gonna move on to the second most likely option, and that is no character. I think there's a 20% chance, or 1/5, that we just don't get a new character at all. I gave this the second most chance just because I honestly do think Yoshi is so likely that if we don't get him, we might not get anyone. As much as it pains me to say this, Nintendo doesn't need to add in a new character. There are already 5 options, including one unlockable one, and Peach already functions as an easy mode because she can just hover, which is, I mean, if you're trying to go fast, obviously she kind of sucks, but like if you're trying to actually play the game, she is just so much better than literally every other option. She essentially already is the game's easy mode, so they wouldn't have to add in like a Funky Kong type character who is just blatantly overpowered, because that's kind of already Peach. Okay, moving back on to the actual characters, I give Daisy 10%. A lot of people seem to think Daisy's a shoo-in. I just don't get that. I feel like a lot of people want Daisy to be in because for some reason the internet loves Daisy. I'm not gonna speak ill of the character because I don't want to start World War III in the comments, but I'm just gonna say, I mean, in terms of a gameplay perspective, she isn't super interesting. Her one defining feature in platforming games is the double jump, and that was only because of Super Mario Run. The double jump could theoretically work in 3D World, but it would be very similar to Rosalina's spin jump. I do think Daisy is the second most likely character besides Yoshi, but I only give her a 10% chance to actually make it in. Moving on down to the 5% characters, I have a couple of these. First one, I want to talk about Toadette. Toadette doesn't really have an interesting gameplay mechanic or power to call her own. The only reason I even included Toadette is because she was in Super Mario Maker 2, and that game obviously has a 3D World theme, so they might just want to, you know, stay consistent for some reason. Doesn't really make sense, but it gives her a 5% chance. Another 5% character is Pauline. Now, Pauline was recently heavily featured in Super Mario Odyssey, which is obviously the last 3D Mario game. She was then brought into Mario Tennis Aces, where players could actually, well, play her. She could throw her giant hat as somewhat of a boomerang, providing the first ever ranged attack. Gameplay-wise, this would be awesome. We don't have a character that has a built-in ranged attack, so it would be great for variety. On top of that, it would promote Odyssey, which is obviously on the console, and it would be really cool. Unfortunately, I only give her a 5% because I literally do think this is too cool for Nintendo. I don't know why, but with Nintendo's ports, they kind of just do the bare minimum. While Pauline would be awesome, I just don't see it happening, and therefore I gave her a 5%. I've been talking about easy modes a lot in this video, and I want to talk about Nabbit next, because he is essentially made for easy mode. In New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Nabbit was added to the base game and essentially acted as that game's easiest mode. He couldn't really get damaged by enemies at all. He could run on spikes and everything. He was just completely overpowered. So he works perfectly as an easy mode, but I don't think they will include him in this game just because if they include him as the only new character, I don't think the tagline now featuring Nabbit would sell many copies. I just don't think he's super likely. So if you add up all the percents right now, we're looking at 95%, and while I could have just included one more 5% character, I wanted to get somewhat creative, so I have 5 1% options. Obviously, by the fact that I gave them 1%, please do not think that I actually think any of these will happen. I don't know how many times I need to stress this. I literally think Yoshi is like the only actually likely character. Daisy would somewhat surprise me. Anything else would like shock me. However, if any of these 1% characters come, I would honestly just, I wouldn't believe it. I would think I was dreaming because these are just too weird and wacky for Nintendo, despite the fact that they're all relatively basic Mario characters. The first 1% character is Wario. I think he could have some sort of shockwave attack when he ground pounds to attack faraway enemies. If multiple people ground pounded at the same time in Super Mario 3D World, some sort of like ground screen shake would occur and a bunch of enemies, I think all the enemies on screen actually would die. Something like that, but for a limited range when he ground pounds. It just kind of makes sense because, you know, Wario's fat. For the next 1% character, I have Wario and Waluigi. I only included Wario again because I don't think Waluigi would ever happen without Wario. I don't know what special move Waluigi would actually have. I mean, maybe something with his tennis racket, although I think that's really unlikely because no character actually uses an item in their moveset. Maybe he could be like Extreme Luigi, just like a super tall jump, but absolutely dick stats for everything else. Once again, completely unlikely. I just thought I'd include it because, hey, I mean, it's Waluigi. And Nintendo has seen the hype for Waluigi when, you know, he got deconfirmed for Smash and everything, so maybe they'll be like, hey, I mean, if we put Waluigi in this game, it's guaranteed to sell 1 billion units, so might as well. The next 1% character is Donkey Kong. Just like Yoshi, Donkey Kong is a Mario staple who wasn't in 3D World. However, unlike Yoshi, Donkey Kong doesn't appear in Mario platformers at all. Ever since the Donkey Kong Country games, Donkey Kong has kind of been platforming on his own. However, obviously, Donkey Kong is still owned by Nintendo, so it's not like they couldn't put him in this game, they just probably won't. He could just be a straight up invincible mode, because, I mean, he's freaking Donkey Kong. I don't think a Goomba would be taking him down. On top of that, from the Donkey Kong Country series I mentioned earlier, a big mechanic in that game is barrels, so if he falls off like a cliff or something, maybe a barrel could just shoot him back up. That would mean the only way he could die is like getting crushed by something, or, I don't know, falling into lava or like that poisonous purple goop. It would be really good for like an extremely easy mode. The fourth 1% character is Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Once again, I don't think we're gonna get Diddy Kong without Donkey Kong, just like I don't think we're gonna get Waluigi without Wario. In terms of mechanics, I think Diddy Kong would be one of the best characters to like fit in. It would just be really interesting for the gameplay. He could have his signature peanut gun and his like little jetpack thing, which would make him function kind of as a Peach with a fire flower all the time. Once again, that would be in easy mode, but it would also just be really interesting, like having a Peach with a fire flower all the time. Super unique sort of thing there. And I didn't mention this before, but I don't think either of the Kongs would be able to use power-ups. That's okay though, as their completely overpowered movesets would more than make up for it. For the final 1% characters, I have a Sprixie. Yeah, you could play as a Sprixie. Now, why do I think you could play as a Sprixie in this game? That makes no sense. Sprixies first appeared in 3D World and I'm pretty sure have only ever been playable in Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. They're not really popular characters and they don't have any signature moves, so it really doesn't make sense as to why I included them. They also would have to be unlocked after beating the game because it wouldn't make sense if you could play as a Sprixie while you were also trying to rescue a Sprixie. You might be asking then, Thomas, why did you even include them? And I honestly have a one-word answer, and I'm positive that you cannot guess what this one word is. Everyone write down your guesses now. It doesn't matter, because you're wrong. The one word is Miiverse. I'm sure you did not expect that. I am one of the biggest Super Mario 3D World fans of all time, and even I didn't use this feature when it existed, when Miiverse existed, so I don't expect any of you to know what it is. Essentially, your friends on Miiverse could like upload their time trials to the game, and then their Miis would appear as Sprixies and like kind of be like Mario Kart Time Trial Ghost. It was a really weird system that didn't really do anything like good for the game. It just kind of added like random ghosts to certain levels you were playing. However, those ghosts did look like Sprixies, so they do have like that sort of not moveset, but like the required animations, I guess. I don't know, that's literally the only reason I threw that in. So to wrap it up, looking at the pie chart, clearly Yoshi is just absolutely dominating this race. I truly do think Yoshi is the character. However, I do think there are some other ones that could be pretty cool. I don't think Daisy would be that cool from a gameplay perspective. The double jump is kind of just played out with Rosalina, but I mean, literally everyone seems to want her, so sure, I guess I'd be happy for you guys. By far the coolest one of these, in my opinion, would be Pauline. I just think that would be really neat. Like adding that sort of boomerang style ranged projectile with the hat would be super cool. I'd honestly be happy with any of these, just any sort of new character in this game would be so awesome. But yeah, Pauline would be my top choice, but Yoshi is the one that I think is actually gonna happen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below though. Even though I talk about 3D World literally all the time, if there are any more 3D World videos you guys want to see, let me know down in the comments below. On top of that, if you made it this far, I'm assuming you liked the video, so actually physically pressing the like button makes me feel good. I don't know if it actually helps the video in terms of like algorithm stuff, but it makes me happy, so. I know what does help the video though in algorithm stuff, subscribing, so if you want to help the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100 million subscribers. That's not true. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, so please hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's really not much else to say. If you guys want to listen to the Nintendo Tonight podcast, which is a really cool podcast hosted by yours truly and PJ, you can check the link in the description. It'll take you to that specific channel, and over there we upload like clips and full episodes. It's a blast. But most importantly, thank you guys all so much for watching, and have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Thomas, signing off. Peace.